What, you sitting at the table? Oh, my bad. I can feel it.
Singleton? Mr. Stoney? Mr. Erga?
Here.
Mrs. Wiggins?
Okay, before we get started, we've got some guests here tonight. We're gonna do that first, so in case they wanna leave and not listen to all this, you're more than welcome if you want to, but we're gonna start with, Coach. I'm gonna let you say what you have to say and introduce everybody. We appreciate you being here.
First thing I want to say is thanks for having us here. It was a pretty amazing last couple weeks, and I just want to throw out some thank yous to people. You know, there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that people don't even realize what happens. But before I get to that, if you think about a group of guys who, what they accomplished this year, you know, we've been trying to figure out what did we actually do. And I talked to Coach Schwieterman on the phone last night. We said, you know what, these guys were amazing. And they really were. And I think the bottom line is we had a group of guys, a group of coaches who, you know what, we don't care who gets the credit. And we talked about that from the beginning, is just forming this, that we're going to be in this together. And we're going to work together. And we talked about we're not reading the newspapers, we're not listening to the chatter, we're all in this for Meadowbrook. And there was a couple of games when we talked, and we said, you know what, we're going to do this for Meadowbrook. We're not going to do it for ourselves. We're going to do it for the community, we're going to do it for the school. And I think all these guys bit into it, and they truly are the heroes. And you know what, it's amazing what young kids could do. You look out in the world today and you see these kids marching out in society. They're the ones who's bringing the change into the world. They're the ones who's going to bring the change into the world. And we're their leaders. We're the ones who should be in the background. And these guys, you know what? They're men who are going to be successful in life. And you know what? I always said this, you can learn from everyone. It can be the young people, it can be the older people. And you know what? These guys made me a better person. And my hat's off to them, and they're truly the ones who did this. You know, no jealousy, no envy, no reading the papers. They're the ones that did it, and they're going to take that memory forever. But I just want to review and give some credit. We wouldn't have got there if it wasn't for Jeff Wheeler, and you know the things that he does with the schedule and preparing things. And I've been in different schools before. He didn't give me a couple bucks to say this, but he's a first-class AD, and he has a lot of things on his plate, but we would not get there if it wasn't for Jeff. So he was so organized. I mean, when we took the kids to Columbus, even Mel Pursuit said it was the most organized thing he ever seen. So those of you guys that know Mel, when he's able to say that, I mean, it was first class from the beginning, getting on the bus, the time, him putting everything together. Once we got to the hotel, going to Capitol, I mean, our kids had, and they can tell you it was an unbelievable experience. And then once we got there to the stadium, the way they treated us, and, you know, the ending wasn't the best, but everything else was first class. And I know these guys are always going to remember that, but you know what? I think we ought to give Jeff a round of applause because he was really good. And you know, a couple of times during the season too, Brian, the administration, Scott Goley, they always came up and said, "You guys need anything?" And as a coach, that really means a lot. You know, there was a moment in the season when you know, we had some weather issues and we lost a couple games. I remember Brian came over and he said, "You okay, Coach? You got this?" I said, "We're fine." And we got through it. But I think we're going to remember this forever. And I like to thank my coaches. I got some really great coaches. And you know what? We all really do work together. And Mike Andrews said this the other day. He said, we can learn from each other. And we do. And like I said, none of us, you know, think we're better than each other. We're all in it for the kids, and it's really fun. And if I had to name a couple of things, one, this group was a fun-loving group to the point where it drove us crazy sometimes. And we always said we couldn't tell if we won or lost the game. we go in the locker room and we're like, hey, we just won the game. And we'd look at each other and like, man, did we win or did we lose? But maybe that's good because they were stable. And two is just the fact that we played as a team. So they loved playing. They got excited about playing. No ego trips. And my hat as a coach is off. And I share it with everybody and the coaches and the community. The community was unbelievable. When we won that final game down at Athens, and you just heard everybody saying, let's go Colts, it really made you feel good. And I think it's a memory that everybody can remember. So I think the best way to do this is starting with the coaches. Maybe they can introduce themselves and just let each guy introduce herself. Does that sound good to you, Mr. Cole?
Sounds good to me.
So starting with Mike.
Thanks. Once again, thanks for having us here. You know, that was a heck of a basketball team over there, and I thank those guys many times for letting me be a part of it and also with the coaches. But as good as a team we were, they're a lot better people than that. And to be around them every day, I've been around some of those guys for, 3 or 4 years, and it was just fun to go to practice every day. I mean, everybody notices the wins, but, the practices and locker rooms and just the camaraderie that we had as players and coaches, it's just special, it's just, a special group of guys, and, I'm just thrilled and happy to be a part of this. And again, I'd like to thank all of you for letting me be a part of this, and the coaches and the players. And like I told them in the locker room, us coaches are gonna be there for them a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. The phone will always be open because they're part of the family, and they're always going to be part of the family, and we've always looked at it that way.
I'm Dan Sweeterman. I've been at this for 42 years, and this is probably one of the most satisfying seasons that I've ever had. Not just in the fact that, we advanced to the state tournament. This is a special group of guys, not only as basketball players, but as people. And I gotta put a shout out to the parents. I think a lot of that comes from them. They all took on a role. Some of them were excellent at defense. Some of them could put the ball in the basket. Some of them were rebounders. Whatever it took, everybody just kind of adjusted. And probably the most special part of it was as they went through the season, we talked about this a lot of times. I don't know if they realized, I can't say that they changed. I would rather say they transformed into just getting better and better and better, getting out of their comfort zone just a little bit and doing whatever it took to stay in the game. And then, it takes a little bit of luck that at the end of the game, those last 3 games before the finals, they just stepped up and took it on their back, and everybody made big plays, and things fell into place. And I have nothing but the utmost respect for each one of these guys, as well as the coaching staff in our community. Our community was tremendous. There were just special moments off the court, like I was telling them, when we stopped at Byesville Elementary School, and these guys got off the bus, those little kids were in heaven. But I think these guys were in heaven too. I don't know which ones were the little kids and which ones were the big kids, because they were enjoying it just as much as what they were. Those are the special moments that I'll remember the most, besides, the games on the court. And I just appreciate being a part of the coaching staff and being a part of the team.
Hi, I'm Taryn Jarrett. Helped out this year again, obviously, but I just kind of wanted to reflect on what these guys have said. Just in terms of being at the middle school and being around the school, that week before we went up to Columbus was one that I'll definitely never forget. Just even at the middle school, the buzz around the school and the community was unreal, and the support. You realize how many people are impacted by just the game of basketball and how it brings the community together. So I just want to thank you guys for that. And if you're around these guys, I was around them with football as well, and a lot of them play that. And if you're around them for 5 minutes, you understand that they really do have that team concept. They really are together, and they get it. They have a good time, but at the same time, they go to work, and they mesh really well together. And I think we saw that this year on the court. But again, just to reflect, kind of thank the community, all the teachers, all the administration for a great week. It obviously didn't end the way we wanted it to, but I think this is hopefully a stepping stone of things to come for not just Meadowbrook basketball, but Meadowbrook athletics in general. So thank you.
Davis, you're up.
I'm Davis Black. I really enjoyed this year. I thought that we got a lot of support and it was much needed. The week leading up to the state tournament game, we got to go eat, we got to go stay in hotels, and I think that really brought us together and just realized how much we like each other. And we kind of took it serious, and I thought that was needed also. And I mean, we didn't really play our best, but I mean, it was a fun time.
I'm Boston Black, and I just want to say thank you to everyone that's doing it all for the kids, because you guys are our heroes. It's a way to be good role models. Thank you.
I'm Easton Black. Just want to say, like, thanks for the support up the court. I mean, all season, everyone from the community was behind us, and even here, you guys providing for us too. I mean, we're going to Athens every day. We're going out to eat afterwards, and we're taking charter buses up to some games. I know that's really expensive, but just want to thank you for that. I mean, just made it a nice experience, made it a little bit more fun. Just want to thank you for always being like behind the scenes and just help us out.
I'm Peyton Knapp, and I'd like to thank the support we got from the school, the community, and just everybody in general. The paper, they always covered us, made us look good. And the Florida rivals, they did the same. And I loved being around the team, and just something I'll never forget.
Trey Singleton. It just feels really nice to do something that's never been done before, and the community's been behind us the whole time, and nobody saw it coming, and neither did we, but it was fun year. Thanks.
I'm Dylan Webster. I just want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting us throughout the whole season. It was a great experience. I loved every moment of it.
Mark Biggo, and thanks for supporting us and all that stuff.
I'm Kate Black. I'm glad that this year went as good as it did, and I like thanks all. Thank all these guys. It's funny.
Before we're done, Coach, I know the board and the whole community thanks you, and the players, everybody was proud of you. Didn't matter how it ended. You had a great year. You represented the district well, and no matter what, we're proud of you. First team to go to state. Couldn't ask any more. Got something for you, Coach.
Well, we'll cherish that. Thank you, guys.
Give you that. So, that is
That's
yours.
awesome. Thanks a lot.
We're going to go ahead with the board meeting. You guys can leave. You don't have to stay. You're more than welcome if you'd like to. Hey, thanks, guys. I'll see you
I'll be 5 minutes.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You might get some room for you guys to sit down then.
Rachel and Mike.
Okay?
He does, he's been vaccinated.
Okay, we'll continue with the meeting. We need to accept the addendum. Do I have a motion to accept the addendum, please?
Motion.
The motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second. Question? Roll call.
Yes. Mrs. Williams? Yes. I'll just stand back. Mr. Dipper?
Yes.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes.
Mr. Riddick?
Yes. Administrators report. Shelley's not here. Gail. Bicewell Elementary.
Okay, Bicewell Elementary, the last event we had was Dr. Seuss Night, and that was back on March 1st, on Dr. Seuss's birthday. We had about 300 people, families and kids come in, and it's always a fun event. We had a lot of STEAM and STEM and STEAM activities, and it was really neat because the kids had to take Play-Doh, and they took apples, and they had to do the 10 apples up on top. And we actually, I think, had a kindergarten kid got 8 apples. That was, the top of the stack. So that was pretty neat. Another thing I just want to mention is we have a McKinney-Vento grant in our district, or with the OVESC. And I know I have a tutor from that grant. Jude has a tutor, and I think she will say so too. today I was going through some testing documents and looking to see how much kids had grown who have a tutor from that grant. And every child that is eligible for that grant, and some children who aren't eligible, although they get the benefits because you don't just work with the kids that are eligible, you pull more kids in. Every kid grew in math and reading, so that was pretty great. I had one child that didn't, and we know why. So that's really fabulous when you have every kid in a situation like that and they show growth. Another thing, and I know Jude's going to talk more about it because she's already experienced it. We have gifted testing coming up for Byesville next week. Jude was knee deep in it this week, and I'm really afraid about what she's going to say because I know it's a lot of work. And we have kindergarten screening coming up at the end of April, and really proud of that basketball team. Great job.
Thank you. Jude, Seacrest Elementary.
Okay, Seacrest has been very blessed as well in accepting some outside agencies have come to our neck of the woods, and we've welcomed in over the last month Crosswoods, the Friends of Guernsey County Library. They've come in and worked with our kindergarten. Also, the OSU Extension Office is always, as always, great to our students, both Byesville and Seacrest, and they ran the Reading Makes Best Better program, again, with our early preschool and kindergarten students, and we appreciated them coming in and read alouds and providing books for our students and just bringing literacy in from our community, and we just couldn't do it without them, and we appreciated that support from the children and our staff. Here recently, I was the first building with the help of Ms. Meredith to experience our new ODE talented and gifted testing. It's an online testing program that is required, and I'm really proud of how the district handled it. It's new testing. We are very fortunate to have one-to-one iPads, and we appreciate your support for that. Our students did the best they could, but it was a 2-day process, and every student in 2nd grade will be tested for talented and gifted. And that's happening now for me, and in the near future for the Byesville students. So our staff, kudos to them. They work very hard, extra hours, providing those tests and just keeping the kids feeling good about themselves. And we are anxious to get the results of those so we can provide more services as the years come in the district. MHS, the National Honor Society, once again, I just can't speak highly enough of what the middle school and high school and Brooke does for the primary buildings. They've provided both Seacrest and Byesville with our egg hunt. Again, we couldn't do it without them. They provide all the candy, they do all the work, they come and organize it for us. This year we had to be indoors and they adjusted. And our pre-K, 3-year-olds all the way to 7-year-olds enjoyed a very fun event on behalf of these young adults that you'll hear from here in a little bit. And kudos to all the administrators and teachers that have molded these students, because when they come in the door, I'm telling you, our kids are looking up to them and praying someday that they'll be back in our buildings as leaders. Some upcoming events that we have, our home and school, both Mrs. Thomas and I have a very strong home and school agencies. They're going to be providing a special visit from an Easter Bunny, and they'll be giving us books and a special treat to every child pre-K through 2. So we're very gracious to welcome them, and we're very, very honored that they do that for us, because some of our kids, that's the greatest time to get a picture with the Easter Bunny, and the teachers really appreciate all the support we get from parents and community. With the help of MHS FCA group, we are sponsoring a Walk for Water Junior, and that is coming up tomorrow. I invite you all. If you can't participate in the big one coming up in the next month, we offer a junior walk. And the reason we do this is because we really want our young people around us to understand global awareness. And our science classes and our 2nd grade has kind of taken it upon themselves. We are welcoming everyone, and we're actually surprising everyone with a special guest of the basketball team, because They didn't make it to our building on the send-off, but they are going to be a special guest, and they're going to be a buddy, and they're gonna walk the halls and/or maybe outside with these kids, and I just know some kids are gonna be just in heaven tomorrow. So from 9:30 to 10, the paper is gonna be there, and we're appreciative of that. But we're doing that, and then we're also gonna be inviting our families to join us for the local community Walk for Water that's coming up. Both Mrs. Thomas and I are getting ready for kindergarten registration, believe it or not. We can't wait, because a lot of them we already know. They're in our schools in the preschool, and we can't wait to get those kids in. We help the parents fill out all the paperwork, and believe you me, if you haven't done it, it's a ton of paperwork, and it's a little intimidating for our families. So we both offer a support team to get everybody ready, registered, and that's gonna be happening in early April. At the end of April, we'll both be opening our doors and offering screening. And again, that's a team event. Our teachers, our nurses, our therapists all work together to provide a great day, welcoming our new families into our buildings, and we just can't wait to get them in the doors. Mrs. Thomas talked about her literacy night. On behalf of Title and all the support from the administrators, Mr. Rach and Ms. Meredith, we appreciate being able to offer a literacy night. Ours is called Spring Into Reading, and I pass those around. They're the pink paper. You're all invited. If you want to come and see some leaders in the district, we have high school kids coming. This year it's a garden theme, because we got some greenhouses donated, and so it's kind of a garden theme this year. Some of the events, we welcome all the high school students to come in and work it, and our teachers develop great activities, and it's going to be a great night. Free, everything's free, and we really enjoy that night. That's from 5 to 6:30. Our first grade music program, both Mrs. Thomas and I will be enjoying a night with the first grade and Mrs. Fox once again. It's called Wing It. Thursday, April 12th. Secret starts first, and Byesville will finish up the night, so if you've got a free hour or two, please come and join us. Those first graders will impress you, and as always, she does a great job, and so does our staff preparing the kids. And last but not least, we were fortunate to get a COSI grant, and our theme this year is energy, and we're excited. We're having retired teachers from the Senecaville, Lower City area, which I'm super excited about, because I've worked with them over the years, and I'm excited to welcome them back to teach for that day. They're going to be providing that Friday, April 13th. As always, we hope all of you will come out if you have a free moment. If you want to catch something at either one of our buildings, we'd love to host you. And any questions? Give us a call.
Thank you. Middle school, Mr. Wheeler.
I'm gonna hit on a few highlights. Middle school, 8th graders went to Washington DC on March 14th through 16th. There was no issues with the trip. You know, that's always a good thing, because you're taking a group of 14, 15-year-old kids away from home. Some of them, it's the first time they've been out of Jersey County, so it's an eye-opening. But there was no issues. Trip went really well. It's a little cold, but we can't control that. One cool highlight from the trip, and even the kids came back and talked about this, they got escorted into the Capitol, on the Capitol steps, and Congressman Johnson came and talked to them privately. There was a connection there with Mr. Dartery and him somehow. I don't know how, but it was pretty cool, and the kids thought that was a big deal. I say this every time, get on our Facebook page. I got in there today, there's probably about 100 to 150 pictures from the Washington DC trip on our Facebook page. It's middle school Facebook, or on Twitter, and I'm still learning all this Twitter stuff, but I guess hashtag MMSDC 2018. Whatever that means, if you wanna get on there, you can see some pictures. On work days, we started that 30-minute extension, and it's been going great at our school. I know some schools just said, hey, we're gonna put that 30 minutes at the end of the day, and kids are gonna stay in ninth period. I went back to my staff and I said, what do we want this thing to look like? Some of them said just add 3 minutes to a period, this, that, and the other, but educationally that wasn't very impactful. So what we did, I said, okay, we're not adding 3 minutes to periods, because you're not gonna change what you're doing, but I said, what do you want for this 30 minutes? Their one request is we wanna see all of our kids every week. Because we toss around the idea, maybe a 30-minute period, we'll just go back to first period, one day, second period, third period, but you will not see the kids for a week and a half if you do it that way. So what we did, we created a whole new schedule for 30 minutes. So every kid got their own schedule. So So every teacher's seeing every kid, once a week, and all the kids get a special week. So every kid's going to an art, a music, a health class or gym. And it's been awesome, because on Mondays, a certain group of kids knows they're going to math, on Tuesdays, they're going to art, on Wednesdays, science, and so forth. So it's been really good for us. Next thing I want to talk about, I'm going to bring a little proposal to the board. If you have questions for me, I'm more than welcome to ask. A couple months ago, my 8th grade team, which is composed of obviously our 8th grade teachers, came to me, and they want to change the way that we currently do the 8th grade graduation. For those of you who don't know, currently the 8th grade graduation, and for a long time, it's been in the evening in the auditorium, and then it's followed by a dance in the high school cafeteria. On a separate day, not the same day as graduation, awards banquet takes place during the school day, which parents do attend that as well. So it's kind of two separate events. Your awards banquet and graduation is two separate events. The new proposal is this, and I'll give you some reasons for the change. And again, this was brought to me by our 8th grade team, and I told them that I would present to the board. We can have a discussion on it. The new proposal is hold the 8th grade graduation and awards banquet on the same day, at the same time, during school, and have an afternoon dance the same day for 8th grade class only. Here's the biggest reason for the change, and I haven't been there, so I can't attest to this, but maybe some parents in this room can. The biggest reason for the change is it's going to save families money. And what I mean by that is the past few years, the 8th grade graduation has basically turned into a prom. Girls are going out, families are going out spending $200-300 on dresses, they're getting their hair done, they're getting rides brought in. The reality is that's only for a select group of our students, and not all kids can do that. And the whole purpose, and it's kind of become a competition among the 8th graders, but the whole purpose behind the 8th grade graduation is for them to celebrate the accomplishment that they're moving on to high school together as a group. It's a group thing. It's kind of turned into an individualized thing, and that was brought to me by the teaching staff. Our proposal is that we're going to order class shirts, and we'll order them for the kids. We order class shirts for each student. They can wear that during the ceremony and dance, so all students will have the same shirt on so we can celebrate that as basically a group. The other benefit of this, it will only require parents to come one day, because they've been coming during the school day for the award part, and at night, a different night for the graduation part. Another reason for the change is some kids were missing graduation because they would leave on the school bus, go home, and then they didn't have a ride back to school for the actual graduation ceremony. And the last reason, before I even brought it to you guys, I told the teachers, I said, this is crazy. You guys have been doing this forever. 8th grade graduation, it is a big deal for a lot of people, the way it's been done. I said, do a survey with the kids. I said, figure out what, we always talk, it's about the kids. We took a survey of the 8th grade class, and out of the 112, we took the survey, 68 students preferred having an afternoon graduation ceremony and dance all on the same day with the awards, and we provide t-shirts to them with pizza and pop during that time. So that's what the majority of the kids, not majority, I mean, it was 60%. 60% of the kids that took the survey wanted that. Obviously, to you guys, time's valuable. We're a week away from April, so we need to plan on this graduation. All I'm asking from you guys to consider us, allow the middle school to make this change. This change coming from our 8th grade group, and I fully support them. And I really think that this move is what's best for all the kids and their families. So that's what we're looking at doing. I don't know if we need to necessarily take action, but if you guys have questions, I can answer them. But we're looking at basically moving it to the day. The biggest thing is cost, because it's blown out of proportion.
What time are you thinking?
Well, we're looking, obviously with that snow day the other day, I believe that's been added on to the end of the year, so we're looking on that Monday. I believe it's Monday, May.
But I mean, what time during the day?
We'd probably do it, we'd probably feed them and then have the ceremony and then the dance part toward the end. The dance part's only gonna be an hour and a half, so 1:33, so probably like a noon for the graduation part. And the reality is, I know you talk about parents and get people there, but they were already coming to the awards part on a separate day anyway, during the school day. So the ones who are gonna make it anyway for the awards part are the ones who are gonna make it for the graduation. I don't think it's gonna change a whole lot, but what it's gonna do is save families a ton of money, because I've heard some stories and it's got to the point where it's getting out of control, and it's a mini prom.
Jeff, do you ever have any complaints about parents not being able to get there during like work hour times?
It
That
has
would
been
be-
there as far as, so
Yeah,
I wouldn't know
I'm
about
just
the.
curious, I don't know.
No, but my
You know,
thought is
or-
if we can settle it now and get the time out and then give them, what is it, May 18th? That's
Enough time to
a month and a
request
half in
it.
advance if they need to take a
I just
couple hours
want-
off of
yeah,
work.
just thinking about that.
Yeah. But like I said, we already had an awards banquet during the school day, and it would fill up the gym too. So they were already coming for that. My thought is to have it all in one. And again, the biggest reason is money. It's gotten crazy, I guess.
I think from reaction of the board,
Yeah, I'm the one that
Everybody's
told
okay.
Jeff to come here tonight, because, this is a big decision, because it is a prom, and that auditorium is full. You guys have had eighth graders go through it, a lot of you sitting here. Then I told him, I said, you need to talk to the kids, because that's important to all of us, I know. So when he got that survey back, and the majority wanted that, I thought that was good, but I thought, I'm not gonna make that decision, because there will be people, no matter what you choose, they're going to say, it's always been done that way, my family's coming in from Texas, you name the story, you're going to hear it. But there's plenty of time to get that out in advance for people to make plans. So I wanted them to bring that, so we could discuss that kind of amongst the board, and give them the green light, because we have to communicate that, or if we want to pause and talk about it, then you can ask me questions or get clarification, and I can tell them, yes, later this week, it's fine.
I think.
I'm fine with it.
We're
It sounds like a good
Everybody
idea.
fine with it? Yeah. Then do your thing.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
That's good for it.
Perfect.
Thanks for the way you approach that, too, asking the kids.
That's a good way of doing it. Is that it?
That's all I have to middle school.
Okay. Is Molly here?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm hiding back here.
I can see you back there.
I don't have any big requests, so no worries. Okay, not that we haven't been very busy at the high school. Not only with the athletics and all the great things that have been going on, our kids have been heavily involved in workforce tours. We have a partnership with Sandy Downa and Ohio Valley ESC, and Guernsey United, Young Professionals in the Guernsey County United Way. And with those partnerships, we're able to take our students on a lot of different tours of local manufacturers and other workforce opportunities such as Marietta Memorial and some other hospitals, different things that we know our students are interested in. They spend a lot of time with the students in the classroom to find out what they would like to go do job shadowing in and just tours of. And we've even had some students in engineering and some of the really interesting higher level positions too. We've even got some job shadowing out there and college visits. So it's really opened a lot of eyes. It's helped kids make some decisions and plans. And we try to target our seniors and our juniors who are working on that last decision or getting ready for next year to make that decision on what they want to do. We had air testings coming up next month. We finished our junior ACT testing and it went very well. So that's done for the year, but we have air testing coming up for almost the entire month of April. The National Honor Society has started a program with Brooke and with the middle school for tutoring and lunch buddies, where they switch back and forth whether they go to middle school or Brooke, and students give up their free time during the day to go in and either help tutor or eat lunch with the younger students, so to give them a role model. We have some big events coming up soon. Our Colt Career Day is coming up tomorrow. I know some of you are presenting at that. It's a huge event where we have over 20 different presenters of all different fields of employment that come and talk to our kids. The kids take a survey of what type of career field they're interested in, and then we put them in different categories so they go and they hear from 6 different presenters during the day. And that way they can get an idea of what they're interested in. And during lunch, opposite of their lunch, there is a mini college and career fair that they get to go and talk to some different local businesses and local colleges. So that's an exciting event for tomorrow. Cabaret, I'm sure you guys, that's one of your favorites. That's coming up on Friday, May 11th and Saturday, May 12th at 7:30. Prom is on May 5th, and graduation is still on May 18th at 7 o'clock. So that is not being moved. So we have some really amazing students at the high school, as you just saw with the presentation that we had here. Academically, we also have some really big success. John Kroc was chosen out of 300 different students to have his artwork in the Governor's Youth Art
exhibition, so it will be on display at the governor's office. Hannah Wilson and Anna Smith also competed in that competition, and that is a huge honor to make it that far in the art show. Our FFA is continuing to compete. One of our latest and most recent winners was Levi Mercer, who got 13th in the state in the equine competition out of 386 students. And I don't know if you realize how many different competitions our FFA is involved in, not just equine, which is horses, but they also do dairy and soils and parliamentary procedure and speech, and it goes on and on and on. And we usually have finalists in every single competition. DECA just returned from Florida, where they did some marketing tours at Disney. What better place to tell you about marketing than the biggest marketing place in the world? And they had a great time and learned a lot while we were down there. And they're getting ready for their ICDC, which is international competition, coming up soon. And then I'm proud to have with me today Miranda Marcinek, and she has recently won 2 prestigious scholarships. One is the Franklin B. Walter All-Scholastic Award from Guernsey County, and she'll be going to a award ceremony soon for that one. She was presented her check today. And then she also is in the top 3 for the finalists for the Challenge Program's Student of the Year Award. The other 2 students are from Pittsburgh. So she's the only student in the state of Ohio, and it's a national competition to be recognized. So we'll be going to a gala next month where we have to actually dress in like prom dresses and black tie and everything. She'll find out if she's the finalist for this Crystal Owl Gala. If not, she is in the top 3, and we know that. So we're extremely proud of her, and I thought you might want to talk to her.
I'm Miranda. I'm a senior at Meadowbrook, and I'm going to be going to college next year at the University of Pittsburgh to study accounting and entrepreneurship. And I've been really busy with scholarships lately. It's like right in the middle of the season. We have 11 due this week before Easter break, so it's been really busy, but I think it's really good that Ms. Cantor and Ms. Caplet and all the teachers are just willing to help us as much with that, and I'm just excited for the future. Thank you.
We're really proud of her.
Absolutely.
That it, Molly?
Yeah, they'll take the rest.
They'll do the rest.
They'll do the rest, yeah.
Mr. Brown?
All right, just a few highlights. At Foxfire, we're excited. We do have 4 students who are confirmed. They've completed everything necessary, so they will be graduating this year. So that's very exciting. With our program, it's online based, so once the students hit 100%, they're kind of given the full curriculum. They get 100% with passing grade. They've earned that credit. So we're excited to announce we have 4 graduates. We have a couple more who have completed that. They're just finishing the senior capstone project. And some more that are right there on the bubble, but we don't want to announce too early, but we definitely anticipate that they're going to be graduating this year. 2 really exciting students. We're supposed to be seniors this year, but due to just some differences in what they've done in high school, they were only listed as juniors when they started this school year. But being dedicated that they wanted to finish and they wanted to graduate with their class, 2 of those graduates who have already finished all the coursework started this year as a junior, but now are graduating as with their senior class that they started kindergarten with. So that's pretty exciting, and just the students at Foxfire are feeding off of that right now. It's kind of a buzz. It's kind of an aha moment to them. They're realizing, oh wait, if we, we're buckled down, we see what this program can provide. So, that's what we're there for, the alternative approach. So, students are starting to buy into that, and they're continuing to roll in with that good buzz. Just since last Monday, we've enrolled 6 students. So just a week. I know it's getting towards the end of the year, but some students are seeing it might be their best option. And actually, one of the interviews and meetings I had today, the conversation with the mom was she has talked to some other parents who have their student at Foxfire, and it's been a really successful year for them. They've seen success in the program, so that's why they wanted to come down and check us out. And she wanted to start her student at Foxfire. So. But that was a pretty encouraging meeting. I'm going, a lot of people who hear it's the last option, or, you just go to Foxfire to be dropped off, and now, parents are coming saying, hey, my student's been very successful, why don't you give Foxfire a try? So that was pretty exciting, and it just happened today. So that's what we got going on.
Okay, thank you. Mr. H.
It's coming up on April, so we got our second year of club track coming up, and I'm really excited for it this year for two reasons. One being that Buckeye Trail got on board, so they're going to have a club track team now also. And second, because last year we got tired of just waiting for that to happen, so we said we're doing it, our kids deserve it. And so now they get to compete against another school, not just the Colt Club track kids. And secondly, they're trying, we're trying to include our kids into everything. And so while it's a club track team, they're going to be competing during a high school track meet. It won't be, obviously, it won't be competing with the high school kids, but it's going to be during the track meet to just create that inclusive environment. So thanks to Mr. Wheeler and our club track coaches for working on that and figuring out how to make that happen. So I'm sure the kids will love that opportunity.
We'll go back to Mr. Wheeler. I skipped over you.
That's fine. There's really, to be honest with you, there's nothing to really highlight. The basketball team was a big highlight of this meeting, and then the downside, and it's not a downside, I don't want to put it that way, but it pushed back our spring sports, so we are, and then with Mother Nature this week, the baseball and softball, they're gonna be playing 6-7 games a week from here to the beginning of May, because we had to push back our game Saturday in the beginning of this week for baseball players, because half the basketball team played baseball, so it's gonna be a challenge to get our 27 games in for the end of the year with weather and the fact that we already missed kind of half of a week of pushing everything back, but we'll get through it. It'll be a challenge, so.
Always is for the baseball.
Mr. Detra, I forgot to mention, Monday, April 16th, 5 o'clock at Buckeye Trail is the first track meet, and the second one is Tuesday, April 24th at 5 o'clock, and we're going to host battle. So those are the two meets that's good.
Okay, Liz.
I always give curriculum updates, so I'm gonna give a fast technology update, because this one I'm super pumped about. We are in our area cutting edge when it comes to technology. We are one-to-one with our iPads, and our teachers have the MacBooks. We have 2 tech clubs this year, middle school and high school. They're now doing 3D printing and coding. We have been in contact with Apple since I moved into the district last year, and we started looking at becoming an Apple Distinguished District because of the work that our teachers are doing and our students are doing. Apple has changed that distinction to now it is just school level, so you would become an Apple Distinguished School. And the middle school principals contacted me. They said, we're ready, we wanted to go after this. So we've been in contact with Apple for the past couple weeks. April 11th, we have 2 executives from Apple for Education coming to visit the district and to visit the middle school. And this will set up the beginning of the application process. We don't know, they're very secretive, Apple is, as far as what you're gonna get and what's gonna happen. So all we know is that they're coming to visit, they're gonna meet with us, and they're gonna go through the school and see what's going on. But we're excited for that, and I see that as beginning to get the rest of the buildings also that distinction, because everybody does such cool stuff with it. So looking forward to that.
Okay, thank you. Student representatives.
Alright, so I got a few things. Our prom tickets just went on sale, I think last week, and we just now got all the actual tickets and the keychains. We kind of have a very similar design, but we made it a little bit different. We've heard a lot of positive feedback from students that they like it, which is great. And we have our SSELA Kindness Week coming up in April. It's pretty much all put together. We're really excited. I can't reveal too much about it because there's a lot of surprises for the teachers and students. I'm excited for Career Day tomorrow. Last year, all of the adults that came to present were very, very, very interactive, and it gave me a lot of insight on some things. We had the NHS egg hunt today. I went to Byesville. It's always very fun to see all the excitement from the students, and they always like to tell you stories, and they're opening their eggs, and they're like, oh, the chocolate's my favorite, and it's so fun. And you also hear a lot of the students talking to each other after they come back, and they're always talking about what the kids said to them, and it's a lot of fun. Lately in advisory, we've been doing a lot of job-ready things, like we had interview questions, and we had to fill out a fake resume, which I think is I think it's very good. So we had career search freshman year, I think it's still called career search. And I think it's a really good reminder for like the older students as well with it going on in advisory. On April 10th, we have an I Believe event at the State House, and I believe Mrs. Cantor will be taking us to that. And lastly, we have our DECA ICDC in Atlanta in late April. We have our students going for their role plays, their sims, their stock market, and we also got a Thrive Academy award, which a lot of thanks to Cassie Edwards, because she did a lot of that putting that together. And because we were awarded that, we were allowed to take 3 juniors to Atlanta, as well as the others who won the role play, sims, and stock market, which I think is great.
Okay, I'm Rosalie Allen, and I have a few things to say and then a few thanks to give out. So first off, the Brooks Singers dinner was absolutely incredible. We had more turnout at this dinner than we have ever had, and I don't know if that's just size of the group, but thanks to all of your guys' donations and help, we raised so much money that we are able to install 8 new hanging lights. We've gotten 2 new sets of microphones. We're able to order costumes. So instead of us Brooks Singers going out and having to buy our own costumes and hoping that they match, the other students, we are actually ordering costumes and getting measured from an actual catalog. So we no longer have to go out and purchase our own. So that's saving us a ton of money. So just a huge thank you for the turnout, because we had so many people, and I don't know how many of you have been to the past few dinners, but my freshman year when I was helping with lights, we had maybe 16 tables on stage. My sophomore year we had 18 on stage. Junior year we had about 20 on stage. This year we had 27 tables. We had 18 on stage, and the rest had to be put all around the auditorium floor because we had so many tables, and it was absolutely amazing. Great experience, and I cannot wait to see how our new technology and instruments can do in cabaret. So remember, mark your calendars for May 11th and May 12th for cabaret, because it is going to be huge. The NHS, we had 2 Easter egg hunts, one at Byesville and one at Seacrest, and they were so much fun. The kids were so excited, and I'm sure, with all of the tag testing going on, once they were released from the tag testing, they came into the Easter egg hunt, and I think, that got them really excited about it. And then Interact also participated in the Easter egg hunt with the Colts Club Brook, and they just loved it. So I think it's awesome that we are able to provide so many opportunities for students at our school to be able to go and do community service like that, so they get an idea of what it's like to help others and be a light for others, whether they be younger or older. Because of the community service that we do through NHS and Interact, a few students and I have been getting together, and we've just decided to do a few community service activities on our own. One of them is we're going to be making homeless blankets out of Plarn. For those of you who don't know what Plarn is, it's plastic yarn. We take old paper bags, or paper, plastic, I guess it doesn't really matter, you can do it out of both. And we roll it up, and we stitch them, crochet them together, and it makes a blanket for the homeless, and we're able to hand those out, and it's very cheap to make. And a lot of people have old plastic bags that they just have sitting around their house. So they're very easy to collect, and so far it takes a long time. It takes maybe 3 hours to make one. But we've had a lot of students helping out with that, and so soon we're going to be going out into the community, handing those out to homeless people that we see around Guernsey County. So I think it's amazing, that the students we have, they see that what we're able to do in not just in our clubs, but within the community. So I think it's amazing for that. This past month, we were able to organize the National School Walkout that was held nationwide on March 14th. And I want to give a big thank you to Mrs. Caplett for helping us make sure that was safe, the whole event. The National School Walkout is March 14th. It was at 10:30 a.m. At first, at 10, we had a moment of silence that lasted 17 seconds, 1 second for each victim of the Parkland shooting. And then at 10:30, students were released to go to 3 locations. The first location was a memoriam where students could stand in silence and remember the victims from the Parkland shooting, or for any mass shooting that has occurred. And then the second one was a protest that was held in front of the school, where students could speak and chant and bring bring posters and express their thoughts on the issues that are happening. And the other one was if you didn't want to participate, you could go sit in the auditorium. And overall, we had almost 150 kids come and participate in both the memoriam and in the protest, which was absolutely outstanding because, you know, I've never seen students so galvanized and phlegmatic in a student-led event. Because not only did they, you know, wear orange in support of the event, but they also made posters to present, and they came out and they spoke in front of their peers about how they felt, which was incredible to see because, you know, sometimes students aren't presented with too many opportunities to be politically active in their community, and so I think it was important that we had this event. And because of the walkout, I had a few students come to me, and we participated in the March for Our Lives in Washington, D.C., and it was amazing to be able to see so many students, so many youth come together for such a cause, for such a movement. I think it's important because, you know, we always hear the quote, "Be the change you want to see in the world," and because of our schools and this community, we have been able to become the change we have longed to see. I really want to thank, you know, high school administration because instead of hampering us, they incessantly expose us to real world issues. I'm sorry, I cry a lot during this. And motivate us not just to give our opinion, but to take action, to become leaders in our community. And I'm so happy that I've been able to not just represent the school and community, but I'm ecstatic to be a part of it as well, and be a part of this amazing movement led by the students, thanks to the guidance of the administration. So Mrs. Catlett, if you would please stand up, I'd like to give her a round of applause.
It was all safety. Safety was our number one concern. It was all student-led. We just wanted to be safe.
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you.
We also have a group of students here, if you see them, rep from the vocational school. You guys want to stand up for a minute?
You gotta get your selfie.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I get a selfie, I'm in.
Can I take it now?
Absolutely.
Yeah, take it.
All right, I'm gonna stand right here, and then all you guys are gonna, oh my gosh, that's recording. Okay, ready?
Perfect.
Thank you.
They're required to come to a school board meeting and observe what a school board does in one of their meetings. We welcome you here tonight. Public participation. Leslie, we had started something. I'm not gonna even try it. We started something new. We kind of put a clipboard out, and anybody who wants to speak, if they come in, if they sign in, that way we kind of have a record of who's here, and it's, people aren't jumping up, and it's just a little more organized.
I have a packet for you guys, and then I have a few extra things I want to look at them. At the last meeting, clearly, a lot of people don't recognize my face, don't know who I am. I was very vocal at the last meeting and talked about accountability, and I guess I have two left if anybody else wants to take a peek or look at anything, you're welcome to. I talk about and discuss accountability. Here, Kathy, you wanna hand me that, and I won't make him get up right now. Hand me my papers, so I know what I'm talking about. Just that one right there.
This one?
No, the one I have right now.
This one?
Yeah. I'll send it over here on the way. But what I wanted to do is, I know this isn't the place that is typically discussed of this item, but I hold myself as accountable as I expect, to see accountability from you guys, so I do not expect you to do anything that I do not offer myself. So if I speak up at a meeting and I say I want to be a part of something, I'm going to follow through with that, and I have brought you, recommendations, discussion of ideas that we have. There's a group of parents that have gotten together and are active in providing the items to go in the buckets that were discussed at the last meeting to protect our children and our staff members in the event of an event like we've had lately. So what we have already collected is that we have safety gloves in Ziploc baggies, which is a two-part item in that we have the protection necessary if there is any injury. The plastic bag baggies are also available to put any soiled items in to protect anyone else from being injured. The 14-inch zip ties were a recommended item from different people that we talked to for tying if you happen to overcome the intruder, to use that to restrain them or for other possibilities in terms of, locking windows, doing things like that. So we have those, and we have had a very generous donation from the community of 1,300 golf balls. Golf balls and rocks are something that are talked about regularly now, that they're inexpensive in putting, well, not golf balls, but the rocks are inexpensive, you can get them anywhere, to have as a line of defense to protect the children in the event of something happening. So that is something that we got donated from the community. 1,300 is a decent amount to get us started for the buckets that we believe that we have. In this packet, I've also presented 2 different items for locking our doors so that they can be barricaded so no one can get in or out. I don't know if there's anything currently in place because I haven't met with Mr. Caldwell and Deputy Kearns. I am doing that tomorrow. I just didn't want to not, if I tell you I'm gonna do something, I promise, I do, so that's what I'm doing. So we have these 2 items that we are presenting as a discussion to maybe be able to use on some of the doors in the district if we can get the funding to do so, as an extra safety measure for the students and staff members. The next item that's in here, I contacted the Emergency Management Association for Guernsey County, and she sent me an email of the items that they recommend that go in these type of buckets or packets for classrooms and different things like that, if there was a collective group that came up with this list. So she forwarded that to me as well so that we had something to go off of for recommendations. We've had a lot of email response to a letter, I guess I jumped out of order, a letter that we sent out to the community asking for any support or monetary or item donations. We did have quite a bit of support. Fastenal is supposed to be supplying us with first aid supplies, things like Band-Aids, different things like that. They were going to deliver them last week, but I don't believe they've been delivered. At this time, we're still looking into where that's at. We have we have a couple of anonymous donors that are interested in doing it. We don't have specific amounts or what they're wanting to do yet, but they do not want to be identified. The gentleman that donated the 1,300 golf balls, his name is Steve Solaric. He was very quick to get on that and get that donated to us. So it's not as progressed as what I would have liked it to have been, but it is better than it was a month ago, the last meeting. So that's an accomplishment, I feel like. I did include in the packet a copy of the letter that we did send out with a list of items that we may potentially want to include with a price range of what it might cost, so that if any of the area companies want to contribute to that, they might have an idea of exactly how much they might need to donate, or if they want to purchase those things for themselves. Like I said, this was just a start from us parents, but it was, like I said, I hold myself just as accountable as I expect I hold everyone else. So I don't hold any standards to anyone that I don't follow through with. So I do have a meeting scheduled tomorrow at 1 o'clock with Mr. Caldwell and Deputy Kearns. I've also been in touch with Sheriff Payton, who has said that the Sheriff's Department would gladly support us in this and provide a donation. The ultimate goal is not only for our district to receive these, but for every district in the county, which Mr. Kearns had said at the last meeting, but that is our ultimate goal. Right now, our focus is our district. Then we can branch out and move on from there. So we are active in following through with what our concerns were. I do not want it to get pushed to the wayside. I do not want it to go away because there hasn't been another, thank God, but there has not been another situation. I don't want it to have to come up then. I want to be proactive. There was an article that was published in a paper up in Philadelphia that my husband sent a picture of it to me today, and I was gonna include it, but that school district has actually implemented, they have rocks in a bucket, in a closet, in every room, in the event of this happening. They have not implemented everything else, but they have that first line of defense. So we are working, and I know I talked to, Sheriff Payton. He said that he had talked to, Ms. Wiggins, and he had talked to Mr. Kearns as well, about this topic. So I'm very eager to get this going, and get this in place as soon as possible. I would much rather have a lot more things in there, but at least we have 3. So we just have to get that organized and figure out how we're gonna implement that and move on. The only question I have for you is, I did not notice yet, and I don't know how this process works, but I did not notice that on the committees that a safety committee was on there. So I didn't know, I had asked passively about it after the meeting last time, about a safety committee potentially being added to the standing committees, so that it is an ongoing conversation. If that is a possibility, I would strongly recommend and encourage it. If it is not a possibility, I don't make those decisions. That's what you guys are for. But it would, I think, provide peace of mind to parents, concerned parents, and it'd be an ever-going conversation that needs to unfortunately happen because of the times we live in. But
I can tell you, the board did meet in executive session, 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, strictly on safety issues, which have to be done in executive session because you don't want those things out. There were things assigned to different members of the board, and we are meeting again before the next board meeting again. So it's a process, and some things you need to do, there has to be policy changes and those things done, which takes time to confer with the attorneys and those types of things, but it is being worked on.
that's all I need. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Nope, I appreciate it.
Thank you. I want to commend you, though. I really do appreciate any help on this matter whatsoever, and it means a lot to me to see the parents stand up and do what you're doing, so thank you very much. We're taking it very seriously.
Yeah, we do have a safety,
Yeah.
we do have a safety committee, we put some people on
Yeah.
that last board.
It's not on there, we don't report on it.
But we don't report.
When you said you wanted peace of mind, I think it's important for you to hear that we do have a safety committee, and I can speak to the board, they do take it very seriously, and there isn't a week that goes by that we don't discuss this. I mean, that's just the truth, and there are members currently sitting up here that are on the safety committee. And we appreciate it. I love your passion, and I love you showing up and doing what you say you're gonna do, and I'm looking forward to our meeting tomorrow as well.
Nothing else, we'll move on to the treasurer's report.
Okay, I have approval of the minutes from February 22nd and March 5th. Approval of financial report for February. Approve then now certificate for valid purchase orders greater than $3,000. The first one is East Guernsey. This is for the resource officer that we have at Foxfire. A lot of the rest are fundraisers. American Express, again, that was like 1 or 2 POs. That was not the entire check, but because I put it on by check, that's why you see the full dollar amount. OHM Advisors, this is architect, this is the building project stuff we've been working on. This is stuff that would be reimbursed when the project's finalized with OFCC. Recommend transferring the following funds from the general fund to band support fund and athletic support fund. I do have account change, that says 300, it's 93.99. That's the account that pays the coaches. So a band support fund, $2,500, and athletic support fund, $50,000.
Do we want to take these one at a time or take them all at once? There's no questions, we'll take them all at once. Have a motion?
Motion.
Have a motion, do I have a second? Have a second. Right. Is there any questions on any of the items? Roll call.
Mr. Beck?
Yes.
Mr. Stein?
Yes.
Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Okay, we'll go to reports. Is there any policy reports?
No, Carolina. The Neola, I don't know, I know you're having trouble with the email. Neola has scheduled a policy meeting Dennis knows these meetings, but it's for April 11th. I sent it through email at 1 o'clock here in central office.
Please know that Neola is a company that does board policies for districts throughout the state. They basically just keep you up to date on what the state says you have to do. Right? They adjust your policies to meet state requirements. Athletic, John Bryan?
I had a few questions, I guess, pertaining to, Mr. Wheeler. I had some concerned citizens call me. I guess there was a Highland River game that was held, a tournament game held at Cambridge a few weeks back, and we had some concerned people, parents and citizens, call, wondered why. I guess that game was offered to us first, and you had to turn it down because you had commitments in Columbus, I guess.
Well, we had a judd of the Columbus Wrestling and State Wrestling Championship.
I understand that. My question is though, you do have an assistant or a helper, I guess, at this point?
Do I?
Yes.
No, I wish. I'm 7-12 athletic director.
But I mean, you have no, on the athletic end, there is no assistance?
No, I mean, I got a 5-hour secretary that she works during the day. I mean,
Because that's what people were concerned about, that, not the fact, and my concern, I guess there could be, there could have been a profitable thing for the district. I don't know what a game.
Yeah, and I'll explain.
I'm not putting you on the spot,
No,
I'm just saying, if we
yeah.
had another avenue to have them covered.
Yeah, the East District, and that's what that game was. It was a district game.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, they're not very profitable at all. Who makes the money is your boys and girls basketball boosters through the concession stand. That's who really makes out. As far as what we get to host a game, by the time you pay out custodians and all your gate workers and everybody and police officers at a boys basketball game, the athletic department really makes nothing on that.
Okay.
The way that goes too, just so you're aware, yeah, they call you basically, they have to wait to see the matchups are, because I'm on the East board now, so this is how it works for everything. It used to be, hey, we used to host a Division III boys sectional, Division IV boys district, automatically it was at our place, so we know that in advance. What they do now is 2 teams play, and then that night or the next day, they'll call you and say, hey, can you host this, because you're kind of a neutral site. So they give you about a 2-day window to make that decision. I'd already, Judd was already in the state championship, plans were already made there, there's a lot of money spent for that event.
Mhm.
And it's important that we go support, I go to all the tournament stuff and support all of
Oh,
it.
I
It's nice that they picked Meadowbrook over Cambridge.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
And part of it, that helps with our venues tremendous.
Not when these people's concerns were, Meadowbrook can seat more and then there's a parking. I am unclear on what that type of event might bring to the district money-wise.
Our district, probably nothing with boosters, but you gotta realize, we work hand in hand with boosters.
Yeah.
All that stuff the kids were talking about, charter buses, that was all boosters. It
Yeah.
wasn't us here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we work hand in hand with the boosters. Did we lose money that night? If we would've hosted it, the boosters would've made money. The school district, we didn't lose any that night, but again, it's a catch-22.
Yeah, the way
We
it
don't
is-
know, I'll tell you this much, if River didn't win that game,
Mhm.
we wouldn't have been hosting, because they picked a neutral site. It would have been more up north. So you can't sit here and make plans on what else that when it comes
Well,
tournament time.
I hope you understand where
No,
I
absolutely.
got addressed, and people
I'm
calling
gonna
me
be
and
honest
said.
with you, I would've loved to host that game. It would've been awesome.
They
we
said it
host-
was a packed house,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was another thing, people were concerned because it said you get parking, you get,
Right.
and I have an obligation to give them an answer,
Absolutely.
and I was very uneducated on it, so
Yeah.
I just,
I got to ask the same question.
Yeah, that's how it works. They contacted.
But I knew you were at the state.
yeah.
Or we would've done it.
Yeah, and they used to give you a lot of time, now they don't.
Well, it used to be already
Everybody plays
predetermined.
at home, and then you decide where.
Yeah, it was already predetermined. We always had the D3 boys and D4 district, so it was already, this is the tournament, run it. Now it's to be determined when you get to district, so you don't know where you're going, and they give you a couple days to decide, and they said you can't, what if.
Is there anybody else in our organization that could be there? I mean, Darren even mentioned as a board member, he said he would've went, and,
Here's the,
I don't know what
there's financial reports and ticket records, and, I mean, it's so detailed.
Okay.
It's not as simple as just being there watching a game, and that's what, and no offense, but a
No,
lot
That's
of
what I
people,
would've did once again.
yeah, a lot of people don't understand all the background stuff you have to do. It's just craziness. It just
Okay.
really is. And then when you get to the district level, speaking of that, I was up at the wrestling, and Thursday, those teams had to come in and practice in the evenings, so someone had to be there to watch them practice. And I mean, there's just so much more, and
But to answer my question, if you could have been there, you would have gladly?
I've never turned down a tournament.
Okay.
We host
That-
more than most.
Yeah.
We host football, we host boys and girls basketball, we have a district track, we host baseball. So we host more because not just of our location's tremendous right off the
Yeah.
interstate, but our facilities are one of the best in the district.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to the previous board and to you guys, because we're gonna continue
Yeah.
making our facilities great.
Well, I appreciate your answer. It cleared me up on it. Now I can
Yeah.
relay that to people that were concerned, say, listen, here's what,
Mhm.
you know, situation was. I was kinda unaware of you not having more help than you did. But that, we can discuss that later, so.
I love that.
Yeah.
Don't
Okay.
get doing it.
Anything?
Typically with athletic stuff, just because I know both of you guys are new on the athletic committee, it'll pick up, we'll have some meetings. It's just like the Neola and this, that, and the other. We'll look at current policies, and if there's anything change, but we'll start having those meetings. Typically it gets a little busier toward the end of the year because we'll want to implement the 2018 policies
Yeah.
sometime in the spring and summer. So
Okay.
it's really been kind of.
Well, I hope you understood where I was just wanting to make
No,
sure I could
absolutely,
give
that's
an
a great
answer
question.
to.
There's stuff out there on Twitter, people are putting, hey, why didn't this game at Meadowbrook, blah, 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 because.
I heard a lot.
of
I mean,
size.
I understand
Yes.
the people's concern too, was like, if there is a lot of money to be profited here, either for boosters or whoever, but you give me a fair answer and I appreciate that.
Mid-East, Brian?
Not about Mideast, they did acquire some property down there recently, the farm behind the place there, I'm not sure they have plans to develop that yet, but, that's
In
something I'm
Buffalo?
working on, when they finalize that, so it's kind of highlighted in the meeting.
I don't have anything on personnel insurance right now. Building and grounds?
Once again, I had visited the bus garage there before the last meeting, talked to Dave, and I forgot to bring it up last meeting, but we're gonna have to address, and Ryan, I don't know if you're aware of it, but we're gonna have to address the roof. There's leaks.
Oh, yes.
And
You speaking
when I
about
was
the
there,
bus garage?
yes, the bus garage itself, when I was in there, they had buckets sitting around, and I'm kind of walking through, and I'm like, what's going on? Well, the roof, it wasn't raining then, but so we're gonna have to address at some point, the leaks in the roof at the bus garage.
Yeah.
And Dave told me there was some money under the new building plan, toward that, but, you know, we might be, 3 years out, whatever it may be. So that's something we're gonna have to.
Agree 100%. There won't be like extra money from our built facility plan for that. But Dave knows this, we've had this conversation many times, and he's brought in, I think, a couple different contractors to get estimates. It's more than just the roof at that particular building. Over the years, they've put this extra gravel and things like that, so it's
Yeah.
kind of built up, so water gets in lots
Yeah.
of different avenues.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And then some of the gutters, so he, and this has been for months, so I probably should remind him, but he knows that we're committed to fixing that, stopping the leaks and doing it the proper way.
He wasn't complaining, I just noticed it, and I figured, you know, with
He
the
must
building
like
and
it a
grounds
little bit,
committee.
because
Well, he
we're
didn't
doing
say
it
anything, and I'm like, Dave, what's the buckets? And he said, we got some roof leaks, so
Yeah.
it's something we need to.
Yep, he should be on it. I'll actually get a report from him, because he should have them. And I'll give it to whoever's on that committee, with what he has. And if he doesn't have it, I'll make sure that he gets it done.
Yeah, I understand.
Yep.
And I'm not picking at Dave, because I know he's got a lot on his plate, but, it could become a safety issue
Sure.
at any point, so.
Audit, and I know yesterday there was a meeting of the audit, the state auditors were here, and some of us were here, but I'll let Candy.
Audit's finally done, after 9 months. It was rough, but we're finally done. Audit was clean for Rolling Hills and clean for Foxfire. My staff did a great job. I wanna thank my staff. I mean, they're here, they make sure their stuff's correct, and, I mean, they do a great job.
I was there, asked questions, they answered them. That's all I can say, it was a clean audit.
Yeah,
Ron, was there?
and I would be remiss if I didn't kind of, this is a big deal. I mean, we sit here and say, well, it's a clean audit, and we say, okay, great job, everybody. But, I mean, all of you have been through an IRS audit, it's stressful as crap, it's unbelievable, and you gotta remember, that's the job of the auditor, is to catch you and trick you and trip you up on the littlest little thing, because they get paid on findings, right? You can imagine what Candy's under, what kind of pressure. It's like 100 times or 1,000 times that. It's unbelievable, what the responsibilities are from the school district standpoint. And to just elaborate a little bit, in the last 9 months, maybe longer than that, we've had, let's just face it, our district has been under attack, right? We've had tons of attacks on social media. The vitriol in our district has been, in my opinion, disgustingly high. And with all that, we talked about Foxfire. That's another thing that Candy's responsible for and has been combined into that. That's another complexity. You just can't understate what a clean audit means here. It's just, you just can't say how, and I just thank her and Ryan and the whole staff, because these guys have been under vicious attacks for various things which are unfounded, sometimes straight out lies, and all that's been proved to be
Who would you be
true.
speaking about?
There's just a lot of stuff on social media, Darren, that has been going on.
Go ahead and clarify.
I'm not gonna clarify anything, I'm not gonna call
Well,
it.
if you're proud enough to sit here and make those statements, you should be a big enough person to clarify what you're talking about.
Because I can clarify a few things, but I don't think this is a proper place
Okay.
to do it.
Okay,
No,
here-
it's probably not.
Okay, but here, I just wanna say the magnitude of what they've been through, that's what I'm saying, has been unbelievable, and to get a clean audit is just great. And I would like to say going forward, I'd just like to say that we need to get over these things as a community and get along better and.
Well, hopefully things go a little better
Yeah,
now, and I think they are.
Okay,
I think they're going better.
Well, I hope they are.
Yeah, I think they are.
We've had a lot of good.
We're gonna
things
have a
going
lot
on
of
the last-
discussions in the very near future,
Yeah,
too.
we've had a lot of good things going on the
Yes.
last couple of years,
Yes.
so hopefully we can continue that.
Yes.
So again, I just wanna congratulate you and your team and everybody for that. Thank you.
Community outreach.
Again, Caroline's been pretty late.
Okay. Dave's here, Andrew's not here, we'll move on to old business. Is there any old business? No? Superintendent's report.
Awesome meeting. I mean, to start out with the basketball team, I don't know, I've been on an emotional roller coaster because of the basketball team, which was crazy the last few weeks, and it's been super exciting for everybody, from the students, the players, the coaches, the staff, board members, you name it. It's been exciting, and then to see our young academic leaders, what you guys do, it's unbelievable, and to feel the support from everybody it's powerful, and we continue to get better. I say it all the time, and I truly mean it. We continue to get better in everything we do, and it's a great time to be at Cole, and that has to do with people, and it's because we have great people. And Candy, that's awesome. I mean, it's a clean audit. It's a good audit. You're going to receive an award for it. So we're definitely proud of that. It just validates all the hard work and effort that we put in, and to see the success both in and out of the classroom and our career center students with opportunities, and our Cole College, it's special. And the community that wanted to be involved, it's special. So I'm just proud to be here and proud to work with such a wonderful team. With that being said, it's my recommendation, employ the following. Mr. Engel, Tyler Engel, is intervention specialist, effective March 1st, and Crystal Michael is the bus driver, effective 3/19.
Do I have a motion on item A for the?
I would like to separate that vote.
Would like to separate those? That's
Please.
not a problem, they can be separated.
Yep, no problem.
Okay, we'll start with Tyler Engel, intervention specialist. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Have a motion, do I have a second? Have a second. Questions?
Sorry.
No question? Roll call, please.
Okay, Mr. Stoney?
Yes.
Mrs. Wiggins? Yes. Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes.
Mr. Rebecca?
No.
Crystal, Michelle Crystal, bus driver, do I have a motion?
Yes. Motion.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Yes.
I have a second. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Rebecca?
Yes.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Mrs. Wiggins?
Yes.
B.
Item A is approved.
Yep. B, approve the extending maternity leave for Rachel Brokall to April 16th, 2018.
She's actually returning that day, her last day, her last
This
day.
is the paperwork that we have
Okay.
from the doctors and everything, that will be there for her. She comes back, great, we'll take her.
Okay, item B, approve extending maternity leave for Rachel Brokaw. Do I have a motion?
Yeah.
Mr. Singleton, do I have a second?
Yes.
Mr. Yurdak? Is there any question? Roll call, please.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes.
Mr. Riddick?
Yes.
Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Stoney?
Yes.
Mrs. Wiggins?
Yes.
And E, the calendars that we discussed last meeting, my recommendation is to approve the Rolling Hills Local School District calendars for 18-19 and 19-20 school years as presented.
Item E, those calendar has set for 30 days. There's been discussion on it. Is there a motion to accept the calendar? Did we put it out last board meeting?
Correct.
I have a motion.
Yes.
Have a second.
Yes.
I have a second. Any question on the calendar? Roll call, please.
And Mr. Singleton?
Yes.
Mr. Riddick?
Yes.
Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Stoney?
Yes.
Mrs. Wiggins?
Yes.
F, accept the resignation of Emily Simmons effective August 1st, 2018.
Do I have a motion for item F? Ms. Wiggins. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Mr. Flynn. Is there any question on item F? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Wiggins?
Yes.
Mr. Stoney?
Yes.
Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Singleton?
Yep.
Mr. Riddick?
Yes.
G, accept the retirement of Sheila Launder effective October 8th, 2018. Pending calamity days. That's the day she'll need to retire, and hopefully we don't have any calamity days, but you never know with flooding or anything like that. But she'll be retiring that date.
Do I have a motion for item G?
Motion.
Mr. Stoney. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any question? Roll call, please.
Mr. Stoney?
Yes.
Mr. Yurdak?
Yes.
Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Singleton?
Yep.
Mrs. Wiggins?
Yes.
H, approve Linda Gothard and James Gothard as volunteers at Brook Intermediate.
Do I have a motion for item H? I have a motion, Mr. Stoney. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second, Mr. Yurdak. Any question? Roll call.
Mr. Stoney?
Yes.
Mr. Yurdak?
Yes.
Mr. Detra?
I'm gonna abstain. It's kind of family.
Okay. Mr. Singleton?
Yep.
Mrs. Wiggins?
Yes.
I, approve the agreement between Rolling Hills Local School District and OFCC as presented. This is for our building project. This does not, everything is contingent on the power plant closing and getting their finance. Because without the power plant, these facilities are not an option. So even though we're approving this, we're approving it to get onto OFCC so we get the matching funds from them. If the power plant for some reason would not happen, then the facilities would not happen. This does not tie us into anything. This just says, hey, yes, we're interested in the funding that you're going to give us, as long as we can align our funding through the power plant with that.
Okay. Do I have a motion for item L?
Yes.
Mr. Singleton. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Yurdak. Is there any questions on item L? Roll call, please.
Mr. Singleton?
Yep.
Mr. Yurdak?
Yes.
Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Stoney?
Yes.
Mrs. Wiggins?
Yes.
To touch base on that, there's not been a lot of discussion over facilities because there's nothing to discuss at this point, I guess. Because and the power plant's not scheduled to close at the earliest end of May.
And we're thinking June, just want the
Yeah,
timeframe to get.
and so once we get that approved, then you have to go to bond, you have to secure the monies, and then you start working with architects. So there's going to be lots more discussion, once the timing's right.
And there'll be
we're-
community meetings and all that once we know it's going to happen.
Yeah, we're as impatient as anyone, and we want to get the ball rolling, but unfortunately, our hands are tied. But at the end of the day, it's going to be an unbelievable experience and best for our students. And Jay, last, we'll have one of these every meeting, is a donation, accept a $25 donation for the Brook Jump Rope team from an anonymous donor.
Do I have a motion on J?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Yurek, second. Mrs. Wiggins. Is there any question? Roll call, please.
Mr. Yurdak?
Yes.
Mrs. Wiggins?
Yes.
Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Singleton?
Yep.
Mr. Stoney?
Yes.
Are there any information items that need to go out? No? There's no reason that I know of for executive session unless somebody has one. Nobody has one, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Mr. Stoney, and a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Stoney?
Yes.
Mr. Yurdak?
Yes.
Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes.
Mrs. Wiggins?
Meeting adjourned. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. You okay back there?